Hi, my name's James Davies Cooke from the Sailing Adventures team. As we're approaching 10,000 likes on Facebook, we decided that we'd do an in-depth discussion on how the whole project began. Recently I put a post on Facebook on the Sailing Adventures page for you guys and girls to see if you had any questions that you'd like Mr. Webb to answer, and we had a lot of interest. We've had a few questions come through on the messages, and we're going to run through some of those in a minute. So I'm here with Mr. Andy Webb, the founder of Sailing Adventures, and we're just going to run through a few questions and just get to grips on, well, you know, why you sort of decided to do it, really. To
be honest, mate, it started off about 10 years ago now. We were it was a small group of us fishing, as most groups do and friends do, and we were going out fishing and taking a camera. Yeah, most of us do. And when I come home one day, I was putting some photos on Facebook, on my Facebook page, which we had at the time, Southwest 360, which was basically a little small club. We wanted to join a club, but we found a lot of the clubs around where we were in Exeter at the time quite cliquey. Yeah. And we decided to start our own. So we had about 5 or 6 of us in it, small little team really, and we used to have little competitions and muck around and that. And I went home one day and I was putting some photos on the page, and my son come in and he said, "Why don't you just put that onto a video?" And he's like, he was about 9 or 10 at the time, and he got this little video app up, and we put some photos in there, put some music background, put some titles and stuff, and it was basically just us fishing, just having a laugh, just going fishing and stuff. And it was all photos with this background music and stuff, and putting on there, and the viewings we were getting, because at the time there was no one doing it at all on Facebook. Oh, right, okay. And on YouTube there was the UK shore fishing videos, you would get them on DVD stuff, but there was nothing on YouTube at all. And obviously people love fishing, don't they? And it was, even if it was just basic simple photos with music backgrounds and stuff, it was obviously bringing people in to watch, and we're getting a lot of viewings and stuff in it. And then one day I was going out to go fishing on the Bristol Channel, me and Shane Clark, Scott Mills, Lee Greenaway, and one guy went on there and asked a question, "Can you show me how to do a pulley rig?" And I thought, how the hell am I going to show him how to do a pulley rig? And I thought the only way you're doing it is by videoing it. And we had this little cheap video camera at the time, no external mic or nothing, and we're on Lady Bay down on low water. Shane Clark, I remember this, if he's watching this. And me and him was going, "You got to do it, you got to do it." And I was like, "No, I'm not doing that." You got to laugh, I can't be on camera. And most of my friends see me now, they don't obviously believe I do the stuff I do, because they know me a lot better, like. But yeah, we done it. I had to do it because none of the other ones were going to do it, so I went on there and done a pulley rig and stuff, and it went on from there really. And we just had loads and loads of people asking more and more shock leader knots and bait ups and different things like that, and it just progressed and progressed and progressed. And at the time then, we decided to start another project with just basically pure on like showing hints and tips and skills and fishing, because I remember how hard it was for me, obviously learning the leader knots, learning the rigs, learning just like the bait ups and stuff, and bait presentation and different things like that, just to be able to get you fishing and be able to catch fish. Because at first, when you're putting bait ups on and like sand deals on especially, and like squids and that, if they're not put on correctly and they're hanging off and that, you're not going to catch a fish. You're not going to catch fish, and it's something which is a big key to everybody's angling really. And it's modern day technology, and it is the internet. It's the way forward. Amazing. You look how guys like fishing, I don't know what you would like to call them really, but like fishing celebrities, I suppose. You've got like Emery Gilby and Dave Barham, Shane Pullen, and like going back through now, you would have Nick Panther for Total Sea Fishing magazine. Who else would I say? Steve Gregory. That's him. Wayne McEwen. It's like his anglers were doing stuff and stories and stuff from like that for the magazines. And back then, without the social media, the way it works, I think it was a lot harder to actually try and do that sort of thing. Where these days anybody can pick a camera up and have a go at it.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
It's a lot easier for that sort of style of it. But that's just basically how it all started. And yeah.
So you had a project called Line Junkies. What did that entail?
Basically, Line Junkies was I was doing a lot of the like 360 stuff, and it was very hard to try and get a group of lads and anybody what's done a club and like try to start up a club. It's really hard. We had about 6 or 7 members. We were all friends, and then we had a few members come in, and it was all about specimen fish. It wasn't about match angling. All the guys that was involved in it was all. We were out after big fish, and that's what everybody was interested in.
Mm-hmm.
We had a few guys join, and they were trying to basically turn it into a match club, and it really went what we were about at the time. And we had another guy join from local guy, and it was a bit of a pain. And in the end, it was just too much hassle. It was easier to join another club if you wanted to go down that route. So with the videos and stuff, what we were doing, I decided to channel it into more like a website and focus on where people could go to and stuff, and that's where Line Junkies come involved. At the time, I joined a Plymouth club, and there was a really small amount of guys actually involved in the project, and people would like to get involved in it, like when they're out, but no one wanted to put the hard work in.
No, quite.
Which obviously you find out now with what we do. It's a lot of hard work and it's a lot of hours, and it's a lot of team effort really from a lot of different people, which has to be to make the project. And sadly it wasn't working out, and that was when I decided to not close the Line Junkies, but it got more went with one of the sponsors we had on board at the time, Ammo Baits, with Team Ammo.
So when you had Line Junkies and Team Ammo, and they were going together and you're putting these videos together, they were just basically to help folks, young anglers.
To be fair, at the time, sponsorship and that, before like the social media and stuff, it was quite hard to get sponsorship. Obviously it was quality anglers, and like Kevin Legg, Rob York, Steve Gregory and stuff. Like I remember Steve Gregory doing stuff for like Otamer, him and Wayne McEwen. And then you had like Sakuma, where you had Rob York, like used to do bits and pieces for them back then. And I'm trying to think who else done a bit for. It was like you had to be in a name, and sponsorship wasn't just given out for nothing.
No.
But with the way the social media was going with the videos, and obviously we're the first people doing it. There was no one doing it at the moment. I would say there's probably another one video production project what I see, which like that Totally Awesome Fishing, which is based on fishing and the viewings they get. But their project is freshwater, seawater, boat, every type of fishing all into one, which is going to create a bigger amount of audience. I would said that all we base on is shore angling. We do a bit of boat fishing and different things like that, but it's based on shore angling. That's what the project's about.
Specimen hunting in that as well.
Well, it's about specimen hunting, and for me, and it's a specimen hunting for you like to fish for big fish, and so other people like to fish for big fish. But it's not just based on specimen hunting. You can't just the project's based on sea angling, all forms of it, whether it's going for mackerel, garfish, and it's the good thing I like about it. Especially with the audience, what we've brought in and the team we've got together, we've got some of the best anglers in the whole of the UK working on board, and they're doing it not just because we enjoy doing the sea angling and different stuff like that. They're doing it to help people.
Yes, yeah.
Like Rob, we went fishing with Rob York yesterday, doing the second episode of Specimen Hunter. Yeah. And some of the hints and tips he was going through and stuff, and he was putting across, which he wants to put across on camera.
Yes.
And the reason he was doing it is because it's like a basic. He'd done this knot, which was like a basic shock leader knot. Anybody could learn it in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So simple.
It was.
So simple. And it was literally, you could do it in, you could perform the knot in 10 seconds, I think. And how strong it was unreal. And it's not a knot I ever learned when I was growing up and stuff like that. But I think back then, if I knew that knot, I would have had a lot less problems growing up. And it's little things like that, and it's like little hints and tips, which, to be honest, he's been fishing like 40. Even some of the stuff he was talking about and doing stuff, I thought I never even thought of that.
No,
simple little knots instead of using a swivel. It's like hints and tips. And the only way you're going to learn that is by fishing with. These guys got like 40 years knowledge of sea angling. How are you going to beat that?
No,
you're not. It's a sport which is forever learning, and I don't think no one's better than anybody else within the sport. Fishing is a lucky game. You've got to be in the right place at the right time to catch a fish. The fish choose you. You don't choose them at the end of the day. They choose whether you're going to take your bait or not, don't they? But knowledge is a key, and you're forever learning. I could go fishing. Me and you could go on a fishing down the beach now on these bottom of the cliffs where we are, and we could bump into a 15-year-old lad, and he could be sitting there catching fish, and we couldn't be. And we feel, what is he doing different? We could go over, and he's been taught by his granddad who's been fishing 60 years. It's a knowledge game, and it's you're forever learning. I'm forever learning. Some of the stuff I do lately, like when I went with Rich, rough ground fishing is not really something that I would really want to go fishing and do all the time. I'm a ray angler, to be fair. I like going ray fishing, and with the doing the magazine stuff and the video stuff and that, you've got to try and space it out and that, which over the last 3 or 4 years is which I've had to do. And I've done like mulleting, I've done like this year I've done a bit of fin lip mulleting and stuff like that, which I never even done before. It didn't even interest me, and I loved it. But you look like going back through now from 4 years ago to what fish I was having out to what I'm having now, nowhere near it.
No.
4 years ago, I think that season there, I had like 18 double-figured double-figured rays off the South Devon coastline without adding what I had off when I went to Wales. And then you look back now, I just don't get the chance to go fishing.
Yeah.
But as you saw last night, I took him fishing. He's been down here now from Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, we went for an eel on Wednesday night. Sadly, no joy. And then we went fishing with Rob yesterday to one of our good ray marks, and we never seen a fish.
No.
Up and down cliffs. And then after we went that, Rob went home, and I took him to another one of my ray marks, which is up and down cliffs, climbing through gorse and going absolutely unreal, which was a nightmare at 2 o'clock in the morning. And we never saw a fish. But this is what we got to do on that coastline. 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and as Rob said on that specimen hunting series, the night you don't go is when they'll start feeding.
Yeah,
and that's the same. And if you want those sort of fish, you've just got to concentrate. And that's my joy in sea fishing. That's what I love doing, ray fishing. I love it. But obviously, with doing the magazine stuff and that, you've got to. Yeah, so somebody's got to give it. No one wants to read about ray fishing and every article what you do. You've got to try and space out and stuff, and that's what with like the specimen hunter series and stuff. I want people. I don't want to be doing the same old stuff. I don't want to really, I think a contributor. Some of them have been doing it for years and years now, but they've probably been writing about the same thing over and over again for those so many years. And like Yorkie was saying yesterday, you could read a magazine from like 1975, say, and then you read it for the same article on cod, and then read a new one, and it's basically the same stuff. It's a method. I don't want to do that.
No.
If I'm doing like that sort of stuff, I want to be creating new series and new angles and giving viewers and readers that different approach. We had a trip planned. What you come down for this weekend on an island, and the island I don't think would have been absolutely fantastic fishing. It would have been good fishing. We'd have had a lot of rough ground fish, huss, congers and stuff like that, a chance of a ray. But it was just a bit different to see out on film, going out on a boat, then kayaking across.
It's an adventure, isn't it?
It's an adventure, yeah. That's what it is. Sea angling adventures. That's what it's about. And the same thing with like the same thing with like with what the stuff I do, like with the abseiling and the rock climbing. Some people, it's not for everyone. I don't know, but it's an adventure, and it's I enjoy it, and I think it brings stuff to the camera which has never been seen before. I said you don't see the guys from some of the other ones doing nothing compared to what we do, and this is what we do, and we're lucky enough to have this sport and have the cameras with us.
Yes,
and I enjoy doing it. It takes a lot of time. I've been through one marriage with it, which is probably not good, but it's something. Years ago I was terrible. Years ago I was like constantly 24/7 fish, and I'd work in between, and I'd be out every night, and then with the video editing and stuff like that, and then living on Red Bull, and like it's not no good for you.
No.
And now I try to work it out a little bit. Obviously I've got kids and different stuff as well. You need to spend time with the family and that, and I try and like work it around. But fishing is something which it keeps me running.
Yeah, it's in your blood, isn't it?
Yeah,
Definitely.
And to do what we do is not cheap.
No, you've got to definitely have a job to sort of fund it.
It costs a fortune with the cost of fuel, and I go a lot on my own, and it costs a fortune and stuff. But it's just one of them really. But back to the question you were asked, like with the TM Ammo, at the time, Ammo Baits we got in contact with, and we're doing the videos and stuff. And Ian Tinsdale, from the owner of Ammo Baits at the time, liked the stuff we were doing, and to be fair, give us a good opportunity to work with those guys with the baits and stuff, and I know it's sponsorship, and I know it put you like at the time it wasn't for everyone, but it did create a very, very wide audience, and a lot of people enjoyed what we're doing. But going out and using like a dirty squid, which you probably remember.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
We've done a few like dirty squid, and we were the first people in the UK to go out fishing with that. Now everybody's got it, but back then we were the only people who have it, and we were out and we were testing that in the Bristol Channel. And then we were testing it in like the murky water and in the clean waters of South Devon and different stuff like that, and showing what effect it had and different things, and it brought a good audience, and yeah, that was basically the team ammo. It was hard at the time, to be fair, because obviously it was one of the sponsors we had with the baits and stuff, and I think I had a couple months off and different things, and then I'm one of those sort of people is if you want something, you just go and go and go and go, and it was something I always enjoyed doing and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, no matter what in life, no matter what you're doing, even football players and that, you're always going to get people that don't like what you're doing, and sometimes if you're doing this sort of thing, you've got to be able to be more professional and just and I use that as fuel now. If I get bad comments or bad viewing or people just saying different pieces, I'll just use that as fuel, and I'll go out and I'll catch whatever I need to catch, or I'll go out and I'll just do more videos and just making. And you see the quality of the videos from how they were when I first started doing them.
I've looked back.
So what I'm doing now is
vast difference.
I don't think we got out. It's not really much competition. If the stuff we do, and we're lucky enough, and especially with the anglers that are involved in it, it's just never seen before. And I'm by far not the best angler in the world, but I would like to think that with the stuff we're doing, we're up there with the best of them, with the productions and everything else, because it's something we all work a lot hard and lot to do, and the feedback we get, and it's not. You could a lot of people they started doing they were one of the, I'm trying to think what it's called now, but it's forever they were doing like a online library and charging the viewers like $150 a video and stuff like that. We don't charge.
No, it's all free.
It's all free view stuff, and the reason we're doing it is to help people. It's we get the odd like freebies and bits and pieces like that and all stuff like that, which helps out and stuff like that. But by far that doesn't solve none of my fishing.
No,
I've got to work full time as well as what we're doing, and that's what I mean. So it's, with my fishing as well, what goes into it, it's an expensive game. It is.
And going back to productions, you don't realise how difficult it is. You say you run around with the camera. I never realised. You just look and you watch these videos and you think, wow, that's really great.
When we had that blonde, Yorkie said to me, "You want your fishing hand?" I said, "I've got to get all this stuff." And then afterwards, all of them were like, "That was mental. It was a hell of a good video." And I couldn't get that, and that I get a joy out of doing that.
What people don't realise is that you sacrifice your fishing to make the video.
I love it going out doing it and then doing the editing and getting the thing, and then sitting back and watching the final thing and thinking, it's something that I put a lot of time into, and I've done it on. After that, obviously, I started doing it on my own, really, the Southwest 360 stuff and that on my own, and like doing the videos now on my own, and then I started doing stuff for Total Sea Fishing, and obviously and working like with Sea Angler and stuff. But it was a case that it was never all about, the project was never supposed to be about me as a solely angler. The project was about doing the sea angling. I think that's where some people, like I've had comments from some anglers, some older guy anglers, don't use social media and that, and they like put pictures through the magazine and stuff to try to promote themselves and that. And sometimes you get people watching the videos thinking, oh, he's a right big head, he thinks I'm no way near half the quality of some of the anglers I work with. You know what I mean? I don't think of myself as nothing special with angling. I can catch fish. I feel like to think I know what I'm doing. I know stuff like that. I can know how to catch fish. I know what I'm doing. But with some of the guys, I learn. Yeah, I do. Like Rich the other day with rough ground fishing, I learned stuff like that. Ryan doing the lure fishing, I learned stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like going to Yorkie, like if you forever.
I learned a lot yesterday.
Forever learning with him.
Knots and different bits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what it's about. It's about fishing to me, and especially with the guys we've got working with Sea Angler Ventures, because that's what it is. It's not Andy Webb It's Sea England Adventures, and it's about us as a team. And there's a lot of hard work. Look, you watch the videos that you started sending in.
Yeah.
I don't know if many of you remember. I put a note on there, post on there saying about anybody want to send some videos in, we'll do some viewer blogs and stuff like that. And James and his mate started sending some bits in, and they're doing it on a phone first of all. And it was hard to edit with the sound and stuff. It was good stuff. And then James is like, what he's doing with what you do on your own with the video stuff like that. He's bought himself a camera and stuff like that. And the Smooth Hounds one he's done and stuff like that. Fantastic viewing. It's like, and it promotes different parts of the UK as well, which is fantastic. And that's what it should be about. And you get anglers involved like that. So where I'm down here and I'm getting like guys working together and we're all doing bits and pieces and like making everything. You're doing it up there and different stuff. And I've got like that Wayne Phillips. Is it Wayne Phillips we met the other night down from Wales, down Congrin? He was doing some write-ups and stuff. He's going to carry on doing some write-ups and that for the page when he goes fishing. And to be honest, that's what we were looking for. Is we look if anybody's out there and they want to do, even if they want to have a go at writing some stories and doing when they're going fishing, taking some photos and stuff like that. Send them all in and we'll put some articles together. And it's about building the team up with quality anglers to promote fishing to the next generation. And that's what it's about. With
helping each other.
With what you've done with the camera work and all that, and it's superb, isn't it? And that's what it is. It's
really enjoyable as well, to be fair.
You enjoy it like me, don't you?
Yeah, it is enjoyable. But like, I've got a hounding video that Andy hasn't done yet. It's from a while ago. I forgot I even had it on the computer, and I missed 3 hounds because all I was doing was running around with a camera.
Yeah,
but it's one of them. It doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Steve caught a hound.
I take my rod out of the water when I'm doing it because it's nothing worse to come back and see the fish loss. I'd rather not know it's there. But that's how basically it's gone. There's been a lot of hard work. Anybody what's doing this sort of thing is going to always take grief in fishing, because you always going to get people that don't like what you're doing, but you just let it go over your shoulder.
Yeah.
I got people where I've like chatted with them online and like they sent photos into the page like 3 or 4 years ago, and all of a sudden they turn like that, and then they're like giving you abuse online, and you're thinking, what's that about? You know what I mean? What you know what I mean? And I don't understand it, to be fair. And you get loads of people on the keyboard, blah, 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 right? And you're thinking, don't
bother.
Attention. Don't pay attention. If you go out and catch a decent fish, there's always going to be someone that's going to give you criticism. Exactly the same as what I do with the videos and stuff like that. Yeah. It's not for everyone, but it's what it is. Yeah. It's what it is. As long as that the project's benefiting people and benefiting anglers and people are enjoying what we're doing, and we'll carry on doing it for as long as we can. I've got some stuff in the pipeline with the next couple of years, which I've done pretty much everything I set out to do with fishing. And one of the things what I'd like to do is a DVD. I did talk about it before, but the trouble I had before was it's hard when you're working on your own. But like when we got me and James in a minute with the cameras, and that's what we've done with Rob York the other day when I'm there. If we're putting productions like that together and the fish, what we need to do is set out and do something special. Yeah, I mean something really special. Do something what's never ever been seen before. Include some bits and pieces. And when we're speaking to York yesterday, some of the stuff what they do with including like quads and different things like that, and like climbing and just like extreme. I love it. I love that. To me, fishing unless you've got to go up and down cliff faces with ropes and do like wading through things, and you've got rough seas smashing beneath you, and that I just feel alive. But like yesterday, you on a rock and the swell was smashing underneath you. You were safe enough because of where you are, but you stood there with a rock and you're that far. I don't know if it's that far away from death or is that a bit of adrenaline junkie, but I love it. And then like sometimes I don't love it when you're up and down a cliff for 5 times a week and you're thinking, why the hell do I do this? And you're just blanking.
But it's that 6th time when you pull that big fish.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
That's what it's all about.
It is what it's all about to me. But